Hello, School District of Indian River County. This is your Superintendent, Dr. Moore, here with another Get More Connected. I want to congratulate and thank everyone for what has been an absolutely outstanding return to school. We have been doing some absolutely outstanding work over the last few days, but we'll continue to push forward and remind everyone in our community regarding the pledge that we've asked our students and community to take, really to be committed to success and display the behaviors that are needed in order to ensure everyone has the opportunity for that success. This More Connected session is really about having the opportunity to introduce you to some board members and reintroduce you to other board members. We had the opportunity to meet with each of our board members, ask them a few questions so you can get a deeper understanding of those individuals who represent us and lead us throughout the calendar year or school year. Absolutely outstanding individuals. So we're going to play a video that allows you to get to know our 5 board members. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Peggy Jones, and I am a school board member here in Indian River County. I'm starting my 3rd year as school board member, and I have enjoyed all the experiences that come along with being a school board member. I've been in public education for over 40 years, and I have served in many positions, some of them being teacher, coach, dean, assistant principal, principal of middle school, high school, executive director, principal consultant, and I also had the opportunity to serve as associate executive director at the FHSAA for 5 years, where I work with students from both public and private schools. I come from Pontiac, Illinois. I'm a big Chicago Bears fan. I know they did not have a great year, but I'm always loyal. I'm 1 to 7 in a big Irish Catholic family. All my siblings and I are close, and we enjoy texting everybody every day and just being involved in our family lives. My husband and I have raised 3 children here in Vero Beach. 2 went to Vero Beach High School, and my younger son went to Sebastian River High School when I was principal. Not sure if he liked it, but I liked seeing him every day because as a principal, you had a lot of hours to work. When I think about my role or my goal as a board member, it is just to do my best every day. You know, our 3 main objectives are setting policy, setting budget, and our contract with our superintendent and school board attorney. But I just want to make sure that every decision I make is good for all students. In the many roles that I served in as an educator, it was absolutely essential that you have parental support. Now, by state statute, the principal is in charge of the school, but having those parents there to support you, make sure their students and their children are ready to go to school every day so that our teachers can teach, that was absolutely wonderful. When I look at all the policies that we have as a board member and how we amend those policies, renew those policies, review those policies, probably the one that I think is the most important is our non-discrimination policy. You know, what I love about public education is the fact that we serve everyone. We don't exclude anyone, and that means we are inclusive. You know, making sure that all of our students have the best support that they can have in a safe learning environment, I think is essential. When I think about my role as an educator, I always go back to this saying. You know, it is our responsibility to teach our students the standards, but there's the art of teaching and the science of teaching. The science of teaching, you better know your content. It's very, very important. You need to know the standards you need to teach to our children. But also to balance it is the art, and that is a connection and the relationships you have. And again, many positions that I had, I always did my best to establish a relationship with our staff, our students, and our parents, because we all have the same purpose. I serve on many community boards. I'm very active with Learning Alliance, Economic Development Council, Executive Roundtable, and the reason I do that is because I want to understand our community and what our community needs for our children, which I think is very important. Obviously, we're in a very technological world, and our students are on their phones or their iPads, their Kindles or Nooks, and we have to make sure that we are doing our best to make sure our students are safe. So I just want to wish everyone a great new year. It is a privilege to serve on this school board, and if you ever need anything, please always email me, and I will return that email because I am here for you, your students, and our community. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Terry Barenborg. I've been a board member for 4 years and an educator for 40 years. I grew up in upstate New York, and I graduated from the University of Vermont. I took post-baccalaureate classes at the University of Houston, and I received my Master's of Education from Florida Atlantic University. I have 3 children. My oldest is an LPGA player, and her husband and she have 2 children. My middle child is a media specialist, and he does digital production. And my youngest child is an assistant public defender. My husband is a legislative director for a lobbying firm in Tallahassee. And having been a teacher, administrator, and parent here in the district, I understand all aspects of our educational system. I'm an advocate for parents, for teachers, for our employees, and most of all, our students. I want to see things improve, and my goals are safety first, academic achievement, and increased dynamic class choices, and I want a high-quality system for everyone. With that, I thank you.
My name is Gene Posca. I'm a board-certified internist that has practiced in the county for about 5 years. I fell in love with Indian River County, although this was not where I was born. I'm from upstate New York, and I moved to Florida during my residency. I fell in love with this community because it's so tightly knit. You really can't go to Publix or a restaurant without bumping into someone you know. And it really just became a really special place for me and my family. When I moved to Indian River County, my wife and I had 2 children. We had a 3rd child since we moved here, and we're now pregnant with our 4th child, which we're very excited about. And my wife and our kids have found so many wonderful friends in the community through their school and their church groups. What's driven me to be involved in the school district of Indian River County comes from my love for this community and my passion for education and health. I plan on being an advocate for student safety, security, and the health and well-being of our students. And I think there's always a continuous improvement process for all these things. And I'm really looking forward to working with the administration and the teachers and the parents of our community to try to improve our education system. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about myself and help you get to know me a little better. I'm looking forward to the future and working with the community.
Hi, my name is Jackie Rosario. I am a school board member here in Indian River County representing District 2. I began my teaching career in 1992 as a teacher of English as a second language. Shortly after that, I became an assistant principal at an alternative high school in New York. And then in 2008, I relocated here to Vero Beach, Florida. And I've continued in the same path of education in my career choice of education since then. In about maybe 8 years ago, I started homeschooling my son. It has been a wonderful experience to do that. And then when I decided that I wanted to get back to work, and I didn't know what that would look like, the position of school board came up, and I ran for school board in 2018, and then I was just reelected thanks to all the wonderful voters and citizens of Indian River just now in November of 2022. I have a bachelor's degree in social science with a concentration in English as a second language. I have a master's degree in special education with a concentration in deaf education, a master's degree in school supervision and administration, and a master's degree in divinity. Clearly, you can tell that I am a lifelong learner, and I love all things education. I fully support a parent's right to choose the best educational environment for your child. Ensuring the school district of Indian River County has true school choice has always been a priority of mine, and it will continue to be a priority. I think it is incredibly important for parents and students to have options for both traditional public schools, for charter, career and technical education, virtual schools, and obviously, of course, homeschool. Reaching every kid, every day, in every way. Some of my concerns from the first election in 2018 remain the same, while others have risen to the top of my priorities list this time around due to much of what you hear about with the social and political climate of our world today. These include, but are not limited to, obviously, protecting parental rights, making common sense and lawful decisions, being fiscally responsible, addressing and correcting school discipline and bullying, focusing on school choice and local control, advocating for career, technical, and vocational education, supporting curriculum transparency, and of course, ensuring academic excellence for all students. I do not believe that there is a place in our schools for inappropriate content or material. I understand the importance of focusing on issues of law, policy, school safety, instruction, and of course, putting kids first.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Barefoot. I represent District 5 in Indian River County, and I've been on the school board starting my third year. My first year, I was elected chair, and this past year, obviously, a member. I was born in Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, went to high school in Michigan, played 3 sports all through high school and through college, went to college in outside of Boston, Babson College. I'm proud to say is ranked, has been for 25 or more years, the #1 school for entrepreneurship in the world, both at the undergraduate and the graduate level. Went to work on Wall Street at Merrill Lynch, spent 6 months in the Army Reserves, but came back to Merrill Lynch when that was over and spent 25 years there. Lived in New York City, moved to Chicago, with my wife and then 1 son, then to Cleveland, where I ran one of the Cleveland offices, then back to New York. Then I went to the West Coast, lived in San Francisco area for 4 years, ran the West Coast for Merrill Lynch. Been married to the same woman for a long time. Have 3 children and 7 grandchildren. One of my sons works in the private wealth management business at UBS in New York. One daughter's head of newborn nursery at Mass General, and the other daughter's a high school guidance counselor in Needham, Massachusetts. So I spent actually a total of 33 years in financial services. After leaving, retiring from Merrill Lynch, I developed a sports complex in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Then went back to Wall Street to head investment banking for Paine Webber. Was involved in the sale of Paine Webber to UBS in 1999-2000. Actually, the chairman of UBS worked for me at Merrill Lynch. He ran Switzerland for Merrill Lynch back in the late 80s, early 90s. Shortly thereafter, I went to work, was recruited to be the CEO of a small technology company called NeoVision HyperSystems. The company actually was the developer of heat maps, which are well known today. Back in the day, not so much, but that was in 2000, 2001, when the tech markets crashed, and so it was pretty obvious that at the time NeoVision had to be sold. But beginning in 1985, I joined the board of trustees at Babson College, where, as I said earlier, I graduated, was the chairman of the board of trustees, and then the president who preceded me left, and I became an interim president. This was in July of 2001. I guess we're all interim, but that interimship, if you will, lasted 7 years to 2008. Meantime, my wife and I purchased a home here in Vero Beach in 2000, and that was 22 years ago. But interestingly enough, my parents came here in 1971, and so we've been around this area for a long time. My wife's parents came here in the early 80s, and so our children, and obviously my wife and I have been very familiar with Indian River County and Vero Beach for a long time. Besides being president of Babson for 7 years, when we did come to Vero Beach, basically full-time, although we spend our summers in Vermont, I joined the board of St. Edward's School. I chaired the advancement committee there, was on the executive committee, stayed there for till, I guess, 2016. I've been vice chairman of the Indian River or Cleveland Clinic Indian River Hospital Foundation for the last 12 years. I'm also on the board of Burn Burton Academy, which is in Manchester, Vermont, which is the area in which we spend our summers. I've been a trustee of that independent school for the last 6-7 years. Became enamored with the school system here. But the big picture for me is I think public education in the United States has really been deteriorating for a number of years. And the pandemic has only made it worse. And when the opportunity came to run for elective office, I chose to do so. Previously, I was elected mayor of Indian River Shores, very involved in when the city of Vero Beach sold their electric business to Florida Power and Light, since I sort of grew up in the investment banking business. And I think that public education really is on a precipice. If you were to ask me what's the greatest national security risk to this country, it's not Russia, it's not China, it's an uneducated public. It seems that we've, and I'm generalizing now, lost our edge. And whatever I can do to get help, at least here in Indian River County, improve the academic outcomes, the academic achievements of our students, I'm all for that. Obviously, they've fallen even further behind because of the pandemic. We also, as everyone's well aware, public education has become very political when, in fact, along with health care, it should be nonpartisan. So we spend a lot of time talking about what I will call culture. And in my opinion, again, not enough time talking about how do we improve educational outcomes. So my hope is that I can provide some leadership and direction, support to our outstanding superintendent, trying to get, at least in Indian River County, the best possible outcomes for all children. We have a diverse educational community here. When you look at the mix, there's about 18% are African American. There's about the same number, maybe a little more, are Hispanic. So we've got a great opportunity. And I would hope to bring, besides showing up at meetings and voting, my background in entrepreneurship, in entrepreneurial thinking, having grown up at Babson, having been the president, having always been viewed as an entrepreneur, even inside a big company, that I can help bring some of that mindset to the manner in which we offer students the opportunity to develop that entrepreneurial mindset. And when I talk about entrepreneurship, we're really not talking about business startups per se, although obviously that's one of the outcomes. It's really a way of thinking. It's a way of being comfortable with ambiguity. It's a way of not being afraid to fail. And we all know that you learn far more from your failures, hopefully, than you do for your successes. So my hope for the next 2 years, I have 2 more years to serve my term, is that I can continue to work with the superintendent, my fellow board members, the faculty and staff here in Indian River County. And at the end of my time, I would hope that we can look back and say, well, at least over the last 4 years, in spite of the pandemic, kids are doing better. They're coming out. They're more aspirational. We've developed those kids who may want to go into the trades, plenty of opportunity there. Not everybody's cut out for college, but whatever I can provide to provide some momentum and support, I'm happy to do so. So that's my story, and as they say, I'm sticking to it. Thank you all for listening, and I appreciate the opportunity.
That was absolutely outstanding. I want to thank our board members for taking time out of their busy schedules to film that, to allow you a better opportunity to get to know who they are. And if you want additional opportunity, the end of this month, Main Street, downtown, Friday, 6 to 9 on the 27th of this month, We are there every single month. Typically, we're highlighting different schools. You come out and learn more about that school. But this month, at the end of January, we're going to have our board members there that are available, really to come out, spend some time with you, ask direct questions to them. They'll be there to connect with you. So it's always a great event at the Main Street downtown Friday, January 27th. Make sure you're there. Swing by. We're typically in the middle of right in the middle of the Main Street. Come find us, meet our board members, say hello, and let's just build strong relationships. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your month.